Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to 6 News. Today we're doing what I normally only do at the start of the year, which is a reality check on the roadmap for Rainbow Six Siege. But considering we've got such a significant change to the roadmap now halfway through the year, I think it's time to sit back down and do another reality check. And this video is sponsored by R6 Tracker. This is an app you can get on Windows that gives you an overlay in-game. I love the operators tab where I can actually see my top operators either by all of my seasons or the current season, but also you can use it to track your games while you're playing. So for instance, it says here that my team has a 49% chance of winning, and the prediction ended up being bang on. We went into overtime and we lost. So that 49% chance of winning ended up being correct because of course they had 1% advantage over us. And if you want to get R6 Tracker yourself, there's a link in the description below. And in this video, we're going to be focusing on Season 4 of Year 7 and talking about whether it's going to be the best season that we get this year or is it going to let us down. And Season 4 will be revealed in November with the launch most likely at the very start of December. So let's start with the old roadmap. So of course, for Season 4, it was Operator from Colombia, then we had a Battle Pass, cross-play and cross-progression, permanent arcades, 2 main events, then a reputation system update. And then we've got console updates, which just kind of spreads out over the entire year, so they might happen in any season. Now we have the updated version. So we've got Operator from Colombia, we've got a Battle Pass, we've got a new map. That is the map that would have been in Season 3, but has been pushed into Season 4. And then we've got cross-play and cross-progression, which originally was delayed from the beginning of this year. Then we have Rank 2.0, which was previously going to be in Season 3, but has been delayed. And then something I didn't notice originally when they showed off this new roadmap is that they've gone from 2 events in Season 4 to 1. And they've actually pushed, very quietly, their permanent arcades down into that event location. That is sneaky because they didn't mention that at all, and I'm not very happy with that. And then we got the reputation system, which is some stuff that was going to be in Season 4, but other stuff that's been delayed from Season 3. So we've got the reputation score display, we've got early voice chat sanctions, and we've got rewards and sanction system as well. So let's start by rearranging this so it fills up the entire screen and go through it bit by bit. So obviously we're getting an operator from Colombia, that's brilliant, and we'll be very obviously disappointed to see if that was delayed because that's something that only basically Operation Health has ever done. Then we've got the Battle Pass. Now, there is never ever going to be a delay to the Battle Pass. That is a feature that will always come out on time. So of course, reality check wise on them, they're both going to show up. Now, the new map. So we have a lot of information actually on this map. We know that it's most likely going to be the headquarters of Nighthaven, which we've seen in many animations and comics to this point. So we know that it's basically on a tropical island and, looks relatively nice. The devs have also told us that it's going to be packed full of story content. We don't know how that's going to be, whether it's just audio recordings you can interact with or something like that, but it'll have a lot of story elements. And it was delayed from Season 3 because it's kind of a more ambitious map. Now, we'll see how that actually ends up being the case when we get it, but my kind of reality check here is we're probably going to get this map. I think it will come. An extra 3 months probably is enough time to get the polish in there and have that map launch without any problem in Season 4. However, cross-play and cross-progression. This was delayed obviously from the beginning of this year originally. And my reality check on this one puts it in a far more dangerous position and far more likely to be delayed. Now, obviously they hope to bring this out in Season 4, but considering the previous delays, considering the major problems they've had with Season 3 and the content getting pushed back, I think crossplay, cross-progression is very high on my personal prediction for being delayed into potentially Year 8. Then we have Rank 2.0, which is going to bring us a whole new ranking system to the game that'll be more of a grind, but the idea is it's going to be matching people up on skill levels and making every game quite close and balanced, and it'll be a fight to get every win. However, you will start from the bottom rank and work your way up, so your skill and matchmaking will actually be disconnected from the ranks you're attaining, and you'll just go up the ranks rather than down them at times. So think of a system kind of similar to Apex Legends perhaps, and it will have rewards actually connected to the ranking system as well as you go up. So I am looking forward to that big time, and I have made a dedicated video on what it'll probably look like and what we know so far. But considering the information there is going to be 9 months out of date by the time we actually get to the ranking system being added in, it could be significantly different by the time we get it. So the reality check on rank 2.0 is I'm kind of 50-50. Like, I think it should make it. Hopefully the extra 3 months of delay will bring it to the point where it's good enough. But it's definitely on my kind of potentials for something that doesn't make it in, purely because it's an entire redesign of the ranking system, and I do wonder if it'll be easy enough to integrate in without it totally messing stuff up and then potentially getting delayed by yet another season. And then underneath that, we've got the event and permanent arcade. Like I showed in the previous roadmap, there was 2 events. That has actually gone down to 1. And I think that's going to be a reused event. I would not be surprised if Snow Brawl makes a return and that will be the main event for that season. That's my guess. I think that's my when it comes to anything in this video, that's the one I'm most confident about. That's my, and check me, once season 4 has finished, come back and check this video and see if I was right. And then we've got permanent arcades. I am super worried about permanent arcades because right now we have only seen Golden Gun. And if we're going to have permanent arcades, cycling in and out constantly, we're going to need at least, I would think, 4 of them. And we've got maybe 1 that's decent and 1 that's half decent, and that's it. So I'm very worried about the permanent arcades. That's another thing, just like cross progression, I could easily see dropping off this roadmap by the end of the year. And then underneath that, we've got the reputation system. Now, we don't even have to really talk about anything here because the reputation system has been in development for many, many years, and obviously it's not here. And right now, it would be nice because there's so much toxicity and things like there's simple kind of fixes I think that this will be able to facilitate. So, for instance, a lot of people don't like cheaters and people that are toxic using the privacy settings, and I could imagine tying that into the reputation system so that you can only use it if you're in good reputation standing or things like that. And of course, it also brings in rewards, and everyone loves to grind out their stuff. I know there's a huge amount of people who just play Rainbow Six Siege to grind the battle pass and actually stop as soon as they reach that max level. And I could imagine people doing exactly the same system with the reputation, where they're trying to just grind that up and get the rewards that will probably be quite unique and rare to come by. Although I'm sure grinding the system is going to be quite tedious. But anyway, reality check on the reputation system. I hope that what we've got listed here does make it. I'm definitely a little bit worried still. Maybe it's a 50-50 on this. I want to give more hope that we're actually going to get it and it'll be finished and we don't have to have, worry about any other reputation systems next year. But the reality in my head is that I think the rewards will get pushed into next year's roadmap. Now that brings us to the end of the content for Season 4's roadmap and our reality check, but there's one more thing I want to bring up. And that is that the roadmap for Rainbow Six Siege has kind of gone too much towards the marketing side of things and not the actual roadmap side of things. I feel like what has happened is the roadmap is now more of an investor tool and a marketing tool for Ubisoft than it is for actually giving the players a good idea of what's coming later. Now, I will say I am 100% totally up for the updated communication on the roadmap, where they come in and they give us a new roadmap maybe every season and even sometimes mid-season to show us what's going on and communicate stuff very well. I don't want to criticize that because that's been way better than previously. But I do feel like the roadmap is being pressured too much to be a marketing tool rather than a communication to players that is realistic. Now, of course, it is a marketing tool. I understand that, it's there to sell the entire next year and to get players back. That's his entire real reality check right there. But obviously it is also a communication to players, and I want it to be realistic. So I am hoping that there's not too much corporate influence on the roadmap, especially when the roadmap has got so big that it's not just communication to players, but investors. So for instance, when it came to the full year report from Ubisoft on their earnings, they talked about how the Year 7 roadmap was received very positively. And you'll also remember at the start of this year that there was a lot of people saying there was so many good wins for Ubisoft with the Year 7 roadmap from Twitch streamers and YouTubers. But The problem is we're now halfway through the year and a lot of those good things are starting to almost fall off the end of the roadmap. So having this kind of corporate presence in the roadmap is probably not been a good thing. And if you go and look back at, say, the year 2 roadmap, and I've specifically chosen this one because season 3 was absolutely nuked and replaced with Operation Health, and the whole roadmap got completely out of whack after that point. Now, back then, a year 2 roadmap simply had the 2 new operators, a new map, new weapons, and then it had a plus bit with new features, literally with one of the bullet points being new features. Then it also had new cosmetics, exclusive seasonal content, and a full year of Pro League. Nowadays, of course, we have a lot more listed on the roadmap than we did back then. So what I would recommend for year 8's roadmap would be something more like what we see here with year 2, where it's a little bit simpler. It doesn't have the specific features in it. It just has some basic stuff. And then as the year goes on, maybe with the mid-season, that's when you give an update with the roadmap. When you know you have a feature you actually have finished and you know you're going to be bringing it in for the next season, you could then have an updated roadmap that says, here, we're going to have this coming in for season 2. And then get more specific as the year goes on and surprise us with some features that we just didn't know was going to be coming. And just demarket the roadmap a little bit. Now, I'm sure corporate probably isn't going to be happy with that, so they're probably not going to go with it. But that's what I would love to see, just a little bit simpler. But then you get more specific as the actual year goes on, and you give roadmap updates that are more realistic and give us the actual content. Because right now we have this big promise at the start of the year. Everyone gets super hyped, then everyone gets super depressed by the end of the year. So I'd love to see everything just be a little bit calmer throughout the year. But anyway, that's the end of my reality check of the year 7 roadmap and its mid-season rework. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.